Hey friends, it's Rachel
and Shirah. Welcome to our Zoom Out podcast.
We're two close friends who love having honest, vulnerable conversations about life, healing, and all the messy, beautiful parts of being human.
We definitely don't have all the answers, but we have a deep desire to see life from a wider lens.
We're here to ask questions, share our stories along the way, be real with each other and with you.
So if you've ever felt like there's a bigger picture you're not always seeing, you're not alone.
Let's zoom out
together.
Hi friends.
Hey everyone.
We're so excited to be here today and finally get to share this passion project with you all.
This has literally been a long time coming, and we're so excited that we finally brought it into fruition for all of you.
Yes, so we just wanted to take the first episode to really introduce ourselves, explain the existence of the podcast, why we decided to start it, just what it means for us, and also just to kind of give you a little background of us and who we are so you can come along with us on this journey. So I really think it all started back in middle school. So Shirah and I actually have known each other since we were about 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I just remember in 8th grade, we were about 14, we did this advanced math class in this computer lab. And Shirah and I just spent most of the time not doing math.
Oh my God.
And just really talking to each other and talking about, how we felt, what our problems were at that age, and just really talking about life. And it really just was a deeper conversation for just 14-year-olds. And so much so that everyone else that was taking that class with us kind of slowly stopped doing their work and just joining our conversation.
Yeah, those were fun times. And I feel like that's when our friendship blossomed into what it is now. That was our foundational moments. But yeah, we always really connected, like you'd like to say, on a deep soul level.
Yeah.
And we're platonic soulmates.
Yes.
That's what we decided. But yeah, we would always have those conversations, trying to understand things as 14-year-olds, and now as 25-year-olds, we're just going through life. We kept in contact throughout the years, despite Rachel being in California. I'm in Florida. Right now we're together.
Yeah, different high schools, different colleges, different jobs, different everything. And I think exactly what Shirah said, we've just always been just on the same level, different situations, but very similar wavelengths.
Very aligned.
Very aligned. And I think we just both really have a deep desire to do better, be better humans, see life through a wider lens, a bigger lens, a better lens. And we really just started, I think we just had a lot of different seeds planted along the way that brought us here today. So it was the math class for one, and then I think it was last year, 2 years ago.
This is my favorite story.
Shirah and I were in New York for a friend's engagement party, and
oh, I thought you were saying something else.
I know, me too, but I think that happened first.
Yeah. Okay, so chronological order.
Yeah, chronological order to make it easier. Shirah and I were in New York for someone's engagement party, a friend of ours, and Shirah, I remember, was going through a really hard time at that stage, which obviously she's going to speak more about. But I remember we were speaking a little bit inside, and then Shirah, she went outside. This is in New York also at night. So Shirah's sitting on the floors of New York on the streets.
Streets of Brooklyn.
What?
The streets of Brooklyn.
The streets of Brooklyn. And I just came out to be Shirah, what's going on? Let's talk about it. And what were you going through? What was
It was just in general a hard time in my life, but I guess it was a specific friendship situation that I was going through, and just feeling insecure and confused and so many things.
Normal, all the things that we all feel.
And at that point, I hadn't been in New York for a while, so coming to New York. Basically, I lived in New York for a bit at a point in my life, and then I moved back home during COVID to Florida, and then I hadn't come to New York in a while, so I came back, and it sort of was bringing back all these things for me, and it was just a transitional, unsure stage in my life, And I remember Rachel was there. And at that point, we hadn't seen or really spoken to each other in a while.
Years,
but right away, we like snapped back to like how we were and like got deep and down right away. Like nothing changed. And yeah, Rachel was there for me and we were talking outside and it ended up being so nice. And that was like a shift for both of us where we realized like, whoa, imagine like people could listen like into this conversation and hear us and be like, wow, like I totally relate to that. And that really, I like feel seen, because that's how I felt when Rachel was talking to me. But
yeah, so it was that, and we just we had that moment where we're just like, oh my god, like,
and like fun fact, my principal who came to the engagement like walked past us and he saw us both like sitting on the sidewalk of Brooklyn, like tipsy a little and just like having a deep life conversation.
Also, it's just really funny because we're at this like engagement party and we're all in our really nice dresses and then we're like sitting on the floors of New York,
grungy streets,
a little bit drunk and just like talking about life and helping each other just explore a bit. So that happened. And then I want to say about last year, I was meeting
wait yeah. Before you say that, I need to mention that I've always told Rachel that she needs to be a public speaker. So that's also kind of a seed, because like that's always been like, Rachel needs to do something big.
You're so sweet.
And then like we would always just like have these conversations. So anyways, now this is my favorite story.
And this we did have the idea at this point in time to start a podcast, but it was such a like just an idea we threw at each other. It wasn't anything substantial. And then I was meeting with my astrologer. I meet with an astrologer every 6 months. Amazing. She's the best. I meet with her on Zoom and she's, doing my reading and she's telling me that I have a lot to say and I need to express myself, and it's almost as if like I could write a book. And I literally told her I don't write, like that's not my skill, but I can talk. And I told her, it's so funny you say that, because I actually, Shirah and I, like my friend Shirah and I, we've been having this idea, almost like joking around about starting a podcast. And she just looks at me in the most like serious tone and she said, "You need to do it. Text her right now." And I kid you not.
And she did.
And I did. In the middle of my session with her, I just text Shirah. I'm like, "Shirah, I'm going to call you after this. We're starting our podcast." And then Shirah and I just started meeting, like whatever it was, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever, just to kind of get the ball rolling, to be like, okay, we want to start a podcast. We have this desire. What would it be about? Why are we doing it? And I think at the end of the day, we just kind of came, because Shirah and I really always have been so aligned. Our whole purpose for this podcast was really to understand, just to like help each other go through life and go through challenges and see things from a different lens, hence the zoom out. But more than that, our idea was, we feel like there's just so much we say to each other, and there's like so much, just such goodness here. Imagine if someone could hear it and feel a little less alone, feel a little bit more seen, a little bit more heard and validated. And, someone who feels a little lonely and can hear us talking and feel part of the conversation, and like just, almost as if it's just all friends talking. Like that was really kind of the idea from it. So
yeah, and we chose the name Zoom Out because it kind of sums up everything Rachel just said about just looking at life in a broader perspective. Sometimes we're so focused on the like nitty gritty things and we get stuck, but zooming out, looking at things in the bigger picture can really benefit how we view life, how we view other people. And that's going to be sort of the theme of all our episodes and like our conversations. Just how can we look at life in a bigger way to help with everything,
to help just navigate. And also it's about, we're going to be talking about so many topics: healing and self-love and relationships and childhood trauma, and just everything for us that we feel like sparks something in us, because we find that we don't want anything to be taboo. Everything is so important when you're speaking about it and you're sharing that. And we've really created this safe space where we can just be honest and vulnerable and share that with the world.
And we say it in our introduction, like we're not professionals.
We're not
experts. We're just two friends doing this together, going through life together. And this is like our story, what we've learned along the way. And we're just bringing you with us, because I genuinely feel like when you listen to other people and you're like, wow, I totally relate to that. I've gone through the same thing.
Yeah.
It feels so validating just to know that you're not alone. And that's just the whole point. This is like a safe space to know you're not alone. We're all just human. We all go through similar things, different things. And yeah, we're just all doing this journey together.
Yeah, and something we always say is like we remind each other
Yes.
that vulnerability is our superpower. And I think for Shira and I, we do struggle with that. Like, we don't naturally are very vulnerable people, but we know that we are better people when we're vulnerable. And we always tell people, like, when you have that power to break yourself open and you have that strength, you really give that power to other people to break themselves open in the best way, with the purpose of just understanding yourself more and understanding each other more.
Yeah.
So really that's, and then just our backgrounds. Like, we both grew up Jewish, spiritual. We always, in schools, we're always asking questions like, but why is that there? And just like really, really searching for deeper answers. So I feel like,
yeah, I think that's really had an effect on like
yeah,
our idea and like, yeah, just like how we were brought up, the environment we grew up in,
just who we are.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a little bit shorter than most of our episodes because we just wanted to introduce ourselves. But we do want to say that every episode, Shira and I really felt the calling to put at the end of each episode a question and a quote of the day, just to get all of our brains thinking, giving Shira and I more space to share as well, and just keep getting more personal, but then also just to kind of leave you guys with a little bit something. So I'm going to read the quote of the day. So it says, and I'll repeat it twice and I'll go slow. We have eyes, but see not. We have ears, but hear not. I'll say that again. We have eyes, but see not. We have ears, but hear not. This is from the Bible, actually. King David said this. But Shira and I really feel like this is kind of the epitome of what our whole podcast is about, because in life, we think we see things and we have no idea what we're seeing or what we're hearing. We think we know things that we have no idea. You know, whether that's situations with people or we make assumptions about other people, our relationships, about ourselves. It's just there's always more beneath the surface.
Yes, exactly.
Sure.
And for the question of the day, we ask, what current challenges in your life would benefit from a zoomed out perspective? So this is like going to be the overarching question of sort of our entire podcast. But I'm going to answer what I feel could benefit from a zoomed out perspective right now in my life. So I'm a music composer. I went to music school, to Berklee College of Music, shout out.
Yes.
For film composition. And I'm currently not working in that at the moment. And a lot of times I get into my head about like, I'm not good enough. I am wasting my time. I'm not pursuing what I need to be doing, and like just be really hard on myself. And I feel like zooming out and looking at the broader picture of I went to school, I got my degree, I'm working, I'm making money, I'm trying to build myself up, and just to look at life as not so
small.
Yeah. And also side note, my brand for my music is called Virtual Music Reality. I just showed it to Rachel yesterday.
So good.
And the whole idea is zooming out, looking above and beyond, looking at life in a broader way. And I feel like that's just been a theme in my life lately. And I really feel like when you have that mindset and you're conscious of it, it really makes life better.
I love that. I also think conscious was such a big word you just said, because we all just kind of go through life a little bit on, robotic, a little bit in a zombie mode. So our whole purpose is just to help each other, like, elevate our consciousness and help you guys as well in however way that, works. For me, obviously I'm going to say everything because
Yes.
truly everything can benefit from a zoomed out perspective. For me right now, my challenge has been more with relationships, and not really romantic, but more just family and friends. I recently actually had a fight with my brother, which we just haven't fought in a while, so it was kind of random and really funny. It wasn't funny in the moment. I was really pissed off. But like 20 minutes later, you know, I was calming down. I was, okay, trying to figure out, asking myself, like, why was I so triggered? What was coming up for me? And my brother actually called me like 20 minutes after and said, hey, listen, I want to apologize for picking a fight with you. I just want to explain, not to make any excuses, but I just want to explain my perspective. And essentially he was just telling me he was not in the best headspace. He was like already annoyed about other things. So it was just easy to pick a fight. And I kind of said the same thing. I was like, honestly, I also want to apologize because I was fighting with you because I was also annoyed about this and what XYZ. And it just kind of came to this really beautiful, effectively communicative conversation, very healthy and mature, of just saying, hey, listen, I'm really sorry. We're both just taking accountability for our actions and the fight, and just kind of giving each other our perspectives. And honestly, like, but before he called me and after we ended the fight, I was so pissed at him. I'm like judging him. I'm like, why did he do that? I was having such a good day. I was so frustrated. And then when he shared his perspective with me, it just helped me zoom out in that moment, because I was like, okay, that makes sense. Not that the fight was justifiable. It was definitely still annoying, but, you know, siblings. But no, I just really, really understood in that moment. It wasn't even about me. It wasn't even personal. It was something that was going on in his mind. So
yeah, it helps you view the situation in a different lens.
yes, and it helps you really stop judging yourself and others.
Yes, exactly.
Which I think is huge.
That's a key point that we're definitely going to touch on in future episodes, like yourself, the way zooming out affects you and you projecting outwards to others.
Yeah, because everything ultimately goes back to you.
Yeah.
And how you feel about yourself. And that's kind of, I mean, not kind of, that's exactly why, you know, we're here in the first place, is just to help each other have better relationships with ourselves, with the world around us, with the people.
Yeah.
So I hope, you know, we hope that that gives you a little bit of reflection to do before listening to the next episode. And yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much for listening. We're really excited. Again, this is just the first episode of many, but we're really excited to start this and share this with you. And we're looking forward to.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
We hope this conversation helped you feel a little bit more seen, a little less alone, and reminded you to take a step back and zoom out.
We're grateful to have you all along with us on this journey together.
Stay tuned for our next episode.
Bye, friends.